Hi, welcome to ConvinceMeAudio. Today we have the review of this, the unicorn amongst headphone amplifiers, the Dynalo. Let's talk. So, this custom-built amplifier is built by the audiophile community, and its conception goes back about 8 or 9 years or so. Not quite sure about that, but it's definitely been in the last decade. An individual chooses the correct board they're looking for and the correct power supply plus the features, and commission an individual to build it for them. So as you can imagine, it's a hit and miss situation, and most of the time, if the engineer is very good, you get a product like this, which is notorious. And then other times you have people with very, very bad experiences. But in this case, we're very lucky. We have a very, very good one here in an excellent chassis with an excellent power supply, and the experience has been nothing but absolute stellar. I've had this on the desk for the last 6 weeks or so and have run it through its paces. It's been my daily driver alongside the Sennheiser HDVD 800 and the Top-In A90. This one is rather industrial looking, very small profile, with a separate power supply that's linear, and I think ergonomically very, very pleasing. These amplifiers are class A, they run at full power all the time, so they run very hot, hence all the vents around the sides, the top and the edges. Depending on the build you choose, you can have the power supply within the chassis itself or externally. Now let's get down to business. This specific Dynalo has a line-in and a balanced line-in, a volume pot that's not a stepped attenuator but a very good volume pot all the same, a high-low gain. This is not normally seen in Dynalos unless the individual normally specifically asks for it. 3.5mm headphone output with IEM match, which is custom to this specific Dynalo, a 6.5 single-ended line out, and a balanced 4-pin XLR. There is no power button on the actual unit itself, only on the power supply here. So, to summarize, balanced in, balanced out, single-ended in, single-ended out, but most importantly, how does this thing sound? That's the most important thing, and that's why you're here. You're looking at a $1,500 price tag for this thing to get someone to commission it for you, and its performance to price ratio is absolutely stellar. The tonality of this amplifier is leaning towards the warm side of things, very musical, rather less warm than the HDVD line, and a lot warmer than the Top-In A90 over here. Very, very engaging, very, very addictive. When you start listening to this amplifier and go back to something neutral and linear, it's a bit of a culture shock type of thing really. You really do want to go back to the Dynalo. The staging on this amplifier is not huge. It doesn't represent a grandiose experience of musical listening like the HDVD does, but what it does is give you accuracy, pinpoint precision, and extremely good relations between one instrument and another. The depth, the width, the height is all very, very well controlled. Surprisingly so, actually. Bass on this amplifier is rather linear. It's not really heavy hitting and overpowering like something like the HDVD back here. That's been specifically tuned for the HD800S, which has always been lacking in the bass region a little bit. And that amplifier was actually created and tuned specifically to sort out the HD line of headphones. With this amplifier, you get a linear experience, but with extremely good texture, extremely good attack, and very, very, very fast. And that brings us to the mid-range. The mid-range on this amplifier stands out very, very well, but is very, very well incorporated with the bass and with the treble. Instruments have a really vivid edge to them so that they seem very realistic and extremely lifelike. You actually hear the texture of the instruments in such a way that it feels very real, but extremely musical and not overbearing. And the treble region is very smooth, very airy, and quite pleasant to listen to. I've tested this amplifier with a variety of headphones. So we tested with the LCD-X, I tested with the HD800S, the P9 signatures, and the Beyer Dynamic T1. There was quite a lot of headphones here to test them with, and as you can imagine, I've been putting it through its paces. I would say its weak point is IEMs. Even with the IEM match, I'm not too fond of it. The IEM match is good for lesser IEMs in the $100 to $400 category where it performs extremely well. But other extremely high performing IEMs like this one here, the Anole VX, it requires the balanced output, and the balanced output has got a noise floor. So once you start listening to music, the noise floor does tend to disappear, but when it's silent, you can definitely hear a slight hiss. I don't recommend this amplifier for IEM, specific IEM users. But do I think, should you buy this? Should you hunt the unicorn, go through all the trouble, and then find out there is no technical support, there is no one to call in case of a problem? Is it worth it? And the answer is yes, because in the $1,500 region, this amplifier is king. If you want a warm amplifier, you choose this. You'll get someone to commission it for you, and you put it on your desk, and I think you're content for the next 5 years minimum. So this amplifier definitely gets 3 tigers from me, 100%. I'd like to take a moment to thank my Patreon lads and ladies. Your help is greatly appreciated. Thank you for making our audio lounge private Telegram chat grow. Thank you for your support right at the beginning of the channel, especially to my higher tiers of the Predators, Hunters, and Territorials, and a special thanks to my Jungle King tier, Vince. You guys are legends. I am QDC. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.